Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Film Busters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusters.pod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
Well, I think it's very fitting we have lovely Shaun on today because we get to talk about your wonderful new podcast, guys.
Yay!
It is new podcast day. Happy new podcast day.
Happy new podcast day.
Yeah.
Will it be new podcast day when this is released, or will it be like second podcast day?
It'll be still a new podcast day because I'll be able to do it. I'll probably fucking release this tomorrow. You know what I'm like.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Shaun, you're the guest. Why don't you tell the folks what the new podcast is?
Okay. Well, it's me, Ben, and our good friend Peter from the Movie Duo podcast. We're called Three Men in a Mixtape. We're going to do playlists for any occasion, mood, or I should have thought of something else for a third one, but yes.
Any
mood? What's a mood? Situation?
situation,
Holiday?
scenario,
Everything.
Season.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Wintry playlist.
Winter, because I suppose like after you've done like Christmas, it's going to be hard to do Christmas again.
Yes.
You know?
I've listened to the first episode. It's all very exciting. So the idea is basically you're getting like a theme for a playlist and then you're all coming together to put some songs into that playlist. Am I correct?
Yeah, like we'll pick 4 songs each, so it'll be a 12-song playlist and with a bonus track for whoever picked the category.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so and we let each other know 2 of our picks, the most obscure of the 2, and then the other 2 are going to be a surprise at the moment.
Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked.
Yeah.
And when do you listen to the other people's songs? Because surely you want like an idea of what they're bringing to the table, right?
Well, it's a monthly podcast, so we have a whole month pretty much, well, maybe 2 weeks or something, to kind of that we tell each other these are the 2 songs that we're going to let you know about, and then we put it into a playlist and we can all listen to it. So it's quite good. It's yeah.
So we currently have one on rotation for our next episode. So it's got my 2 songs, Shaun's 2 songs, and Peter's 2 songs. They're the obscure ones, the ones that we think the other guys haven't heard. So that's why we let them know in advance.
Right.
And then the other 2, we say live on the podcast recording because it's probably likely everyone's heard it.
Right,
so that
wicked.
they know. And I think the plan is to release a Spotify playlist alongside each episode so that listeners can listen to the songs if they want to as well.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That's a cool little way to do it, isn't it? Introduce some people to some new music as well.
We got 1 full episode in the bag so far. We're recording our second full episode tonight. I can honestly say the suggestions that came from those boys took me sideways, particularly from Shaun. I was not expecting the picks from Shaun.
I know. I think I might have, I don't know, dived a bit too deep into the brief rather than...
I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, I love that. That sounds great to me.
Especially with the second one. There's been some music that I would never have listened to on my own, and I'm quite happy that I'm getting to, because it was like with my old podcast, don't want to go on about it too much, but because the new one is what it's all about, but like getting other people's music that because like I don't want to give too much away, but there's genres of music that I would never go near, and then
of course,
I've heard I hear like they will pick a song and I'll be like, holy crap, this is actually like great. Maybe I want to, dive into this genre. So, yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Has there been any songs yet that you've very disagreed on, and like maybe one of you hates it?
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is that
yes.
in our introduction episode, I said, how long are we going to play nice with each other?
Yeah.
Because there's going to come a point where someone takes exception to something that's been suggested. Who knows? Tonight could be the night.
It might be. I do have some thoughts, but
Oh shit!
Well, there you go.
yeah, I don't want to say it.
The honeymoon is over by episode 2.
There might not be an episode 3.
No.
What kind of music do you not like then, Shaun? Like, what's the genres which you don't explore?
But I don't want to give too much away because then it might give away. Because Ben doesn't even know, what I think about some of the songs. Or
No.
Well, that's a good tease. It's a good tease anyway.
yeah,
Very
I don't wanna-
exciting.
But yeah, there's a few genres that I like. There's quite a few genres in the world that I just there's so many genres anyway. But
Yeah. But what's nice about it is it's kind of not like, oh, here's this song, you should really like it. It's like, here's this song, here's why I picked it, here's context, here's what was going on in my life at the time, or what it makes me think of, and etc., etc. And that's kind of the nice bit about it, right?
yes, definitely, that's what I like as well. I'm getting to know these guys a bit more because I've listened to your podcasts, but yeah, it's nice to, because I think music's great for as well taking you to a time when like when something happened. It's very good for transporting you. Like if you hear
sure.
I don't know, a Killers song that you used to listen to when you were a student, and it reminds you of your student days, and you're like, oh god, yeah, I remember that. But yeah, so that's quite cool.
Well, that's us. Thanks for the plugging.
That's beautiful. And
Yeah.
say the name one more time so everyone can go and add it to their playlists, to their own queues now.
3 Men in a Mixtape.
Beautiful stuff.
3 Men in a Mix. You will see our foreheads is the logo, and Shaun has lovely smooth forehead. Me and Pete have very many wrinkles.
It's that Scottish air. It's good for everyone up there.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Bloody beautiful. And so fitting that we're doing a musical film today, isn't it? It's your pick, Shaun. You inspired this whole bloody round of 2012. And what we're doing today?
We're going to do Good Vibrations, which is not about the
Bloody
Beach
Vibrations. Yes, which I thought would be about the Beach Boys.
Boys. Yeah, because you were both. I heard you in the last podcast, and it was like, but I totally understand that because I thought the exact. I was like, why is this film called Good Vibrations? But I now know.
Yes.
But
Well, exciting stuff. So that's what we're doing today, everyone. But before we get to that good stuff, let me just say we got a bloody patron. We got a bloody good patron at
Bloody patron.
patreon.com/filmbusters, where you can get wonderful episodes that you wouldn't hear on the main feed. You can come on the show just like Shaun's doing today. You can suggest episodes for us to do, or you can get, just become part of a beautiful family. Ben, what wonderful episode did we just do recently where you spoke to a lovely man about cats?
Oh, goodness me. I spoke to Kazuhiro Soda, lovely Japanese filmmaker who made my highlight of the London Film Festival, slice of life observation film about this shrine in a coastal part of Japan where humans and cats have to sort of coexist because there's a lot of cats there, and it's just a beautiful film. And the interview with this man was a delight to do, and he was wonderful. And don't listen to it for me, listen to it for him, because he speaks beautifully about everything.
But that's what you got to look forward to. It was a very beautiful episode, and he was a very beautiful man, Ben.
Evans,
that came
yes.
across. That came across.
He was a nice man, wasn't he? Very sweet, very lovely.
Yeah, very, very sweet. But yeah, let's move on to what we're doing today, slightly. We're doing Good Vibrations, and that leads us to the staple of every episode, which is the quiz. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to this episode before, we do a quiz where I normally ask Ben and Adam 2 questions. If they get them right, they get the points. If they get them wrong, I get the points. But today, the host is Bloody Shaun. Have you got some questions for us?
Bloody Shaun. Yes, Bloody Shaun does.
Bloody Shaun.
Say Bloody Shaun in the mirror 3 times. Yeah.
Yes, I have questions. I have 3 questions, but we don't have to do all 3. We don't have to do all 3.
Lord.
We can do every single bloody one. I'm going to say bloody many times today.
Okay, well, when do I start? Do you want me to start now?
Well, maybe I should say the scores just before that.
Maybe do the scores.
Me and Adam, we're both on 12 points, but Ben is steaming ahead on 17 points. So we got a lot of catching up to do, Adam.
Yes. If Ben gets E3, it's over.
The party could well be over.
Party's over for you, Adam, because I'm the host, so I don't really care. Over to you, Shaun.
Okay, question 1. Who does Terry want a signed photo of but never gets?
Oh, God.
Fuck.
I mean, I think they begin with S.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man.
Fucking hell.
Soul Lounge.
No.
Is it like something to do with Egypt?
I don't know. It's kind of. It sounds.
I can't
I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it.
The Shangri-Las.
Oh, fucking
right,
yes. Christ.
Not Egyptian.
No.
Well, it sounds a little bit exotic, though.
Yes.
Right. Well, we're on to question number 2.
Good question. Yes.
Very good
Okay.
question.
Well, I think that this was maybe one of the hardest ones, actually. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But who is the first band that Terry makes a single for?
Rudy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes!
well done.
Had it in my pocket.
Well done.
And question number 3. How many people can the Ulster Hall hold?
2,500.
5,000?
Neither
Adam's
of you.
right, I think. Oh, shit. Go on, Paul.
2,000.
Yes.
Yes!
That cheeky git.
Were you gonna say that unless I kind of gave it away, Paul?
I was going to go 2,000 all along. I didn't even have that written down or anything like ready to go. It just came
I just
out
knew it
my
was
head.
about 2.
This
Yeah.
cheeky git.
I got him.
Well done. Well done.
And Sean's got the
That's-
point ready to go for the future.
They're good questions.
Yes.
They're good questions.
They weren't too
They're
bad,
very
were they?
good. Very good questions. Very,
Very
good
good.
questions.
What's the new scores then?
The scores are... Yeah, I got 2, so it's me on 14 now. So it's Adam on 12, me on 14, you on 17, Ben.
You're close then.
I'm getting there.
Fucking hell.
Look at that.
Should be afraid.
Very afraid of the dark. Right, shall we move on to talking about good vibrations?
Yay.
I think we better.
Let's do it.
Have you orgasmatic?
Think you've got the wrong shop.
Buzzcocks.
Definitely
Fuck
the wrong
off.
shop. What?
If you don't want to fuck me, fuck off. Electric chairs. I thought this was supposed to be a record shop.
Right, everyone, today we're doing Good Vibrations from 2012 by Lisa Barrows Dessart. I don't know how you would pronounce it, and Glenn Leyburn. This is a spoiler episode, so if you haven't seen the film, we're going to spoil it terribly for you. So you might want to go watch it first and then come back and listen to what we have to say. There's no one who's been in stuff we've done before on the podcast. So that leads us to
Is that
Adam.
true? Wow.
Yeah, nobody. So Adam, you're going to tell us a little bit about this film, the plot description?
This film is about a man in Belfast who owns a music shop called Good Vibrations, and he is determined to sign bands and make bands happen in Belfast when there's not a lot of opportunity because of war. And he makes the undertones.
He makes the undertones.
He makes them out of plasticine.
He makes them.
Yes.
He makes them as a band. He makes their break.
I've just realised that Adam's plot summaries, after 7 years of doing this podcast, I've just realised that it just reminds me of how my dad would describe any movie he's ever seen. Dad
Just
reviews.
straight to the point with the hear about the facts.
Oh, a little bit of waffle, not straight to the point.
A little bit.
Benny, you got anything about this film?
I'll give you a little few gems. So, as you correctly said, Lisa Barrows Dessart and Glenn Leyburn were the co-directors. They're actually husband and wife also. And Barrows Dessart described the film as a film that is set in the context of the Troubles, but it doesn't approach it from one side or the other. It's really about people who are living in that world but don't want to be defined by it. It was a co-production between England and Ireland with BBC Films and the Irish Film Board involved. It was written by Colin Carberry and Glenn Patterson, and Patterson got the idea for the film after bumping into Terry Hooley in a bar in Belfast and becoming entranced by his stories. It won Best Irish Film at the Galway Film Festival. The real Terry Hooley makes a cameo appearance in the background of the recording booth sequence. He's the accordion player, sort of out of focus in the background. This is the most interesting bit of info, I think. The film was shot with the anamorphic lenses to reflect the impaired vision that would plague Hooley for his entire life. Isn't that cool? I like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
And the lead actor, Richard Dormer, actually wore a prosthetic eye without any hole in it so that he could see the world as Terry Hooley saw it also.
Prosthetic eye. The fuck?
Yeah. Prosthetic eye. I mean, I guess what that means is like a cap, over his eye, so that it actually looks like an eye. 2 more bits. Snow Patrol. The very bland Snow Patrol contributed to the film's budget, and they were instrumental in getting the 2,000 extras for the final scene of the film. Look at that. I had the number there, 2,000, and I still didn't do it. All of those extras were brought in because Snow Patrol advertised the film. And Michael Fassbender was originally rumoured to have been approached by the filmmakers, but the filmmakers say Dormer was always their first choice.
That's nice.
Yeah, I couldn't see Michael Fassbender doing that.
No.
Different kind of energy.
Yeah.
Well, great stuff. Thank you, Ben. Shaun, this is your film, so you get to decide what order you want to hear people's first impressions.
Okay.
Very harmonic.
That was a lovely singing voice moment you had there.
So, can I go first? And then,
Of course you can.
Yeah, we can
By all means.
And
you
then
can go, and then you just tell all of us to shut up, and you can just talk about the film if you want.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Then we'll go ABP.
Okay.
Okay.
Adam Ben Paul. Yeah?
Let's
Very
do
good.
that.
So, well, this is it's a comfort film of mine. Like, whenever I feel like the world is shit, it kind of shows me that you can find light in the dark. And, how, again, music, because I'm quite obsessed with music, like the power of music and how it can cross these political boundaries and how it can be, like, I feel like I want to quote something from the film, but like when they're getting pulled over by the British guards, and then they go like, oh, so some of you are Catholic and some of you are Protestant. Oh, I never thought to ask. Because it was just about the music. So it's stuff, it's things like that I love it. And it is like, it gives me that buzz, and it was one of those things that that Ulster Hall gig was the thing that genuinely made me apply for my current job, because
Oh, wow.
I was just like, I want to do something like that. It's not about money, but it's just the community, the managing to get that amount of people together to experience something. Just it blows my mind. I love that kind of thing, and I love But again, I don't want to. There's plenty wrong with Teddy Hooley, and we'll probably get into that. But it's yes, it's good. And I want to hear everybody else's opinion. I'm kind of excited because I've not asked anyone. Nobody else I know has seen this film, or I've never heard anyone.
Well, now
else's
you got
opinion.
3 of us.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that you enjoyed it in some way. Anyway, next. You don't need me anymore.
Next.
Go on then, Adam.
So I've seen this film once before. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago before this one. And I remember enjoying it. I quite enjoy films like this. It kind of reminds me of the other one we did. Was it Sing Street? It's just those they kind of got the same feel about it. I mean, obviously the topic itself is completely different, but the way it's shot and the way it feels kind of has the same style. It's kind of like, and the same as like The Boat That Rocks. I don't know why. I don't know how you describe that kind of thing, but it's a nice, happy story that goes with it against everything they actually go for. And it's quite interesting because they're kind of based around true events. I gave it an 8 out of 10 back then. I very much enjoyed it. It didn't blow me away, but I just enjoyed the film. And obviously watching it this time, I watched it with a bit more of a critique on it because I thought, I kind of got to talk about it. I can't just say it was good. But I think my opinions on the film are the same. I wouldn't change my score on it. Just giving away what my score is.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I still very much enjoy it, and it is a good film, and it's and like you said, Shaun, it's not all perfect. It's not all happy sailing. There is a lot to kind of talk about him as a character, because he's not the best to people at some point, especially towards his family.
Yeah.
Aye. Well, okay, all right. So I love that you brought this to us, Shaun. It's very indicative of your personality, and it is in keeping with other films that you've had your fingerprints on, from Once to Sing Street to this. I reckon for you to have a personal connection to it, something like that, the Ulster Hall gig inspiring you to set up shop where you are now personally, that's great. That's very inspiring, and that's a very interesting thing about this film. That's more interesting than The Man for me, personally. I think, for my money anyway, the lack of knowledge about Terry Hooley going into this made it a bit of a struggle for me, because it took me a while to get in step with him. I think if you know him, if you're aware of him, I bet the beginning of this film really plays well for you, because it's playing into all the things you know about his cheeky chappy personality and how he was. But because I had nothing to ground it in, it was a little bit of a struggle, I won't lie. I was appreciating the aesthetic of it, I was appreciating some of the needle drops, and I liked where the story was going. But it felt to me all the way through that even though it was doing this unique angle of this man in Belfast while the Troubles are going on, it still felt like it was hitting all the typical beats I would expect from such a story. It was a feel-good story, and there's nothing wrong with a feel-good story. I just don't typically tend to gravitate towards feel-good. I like the darker, edgier stuff. And it all felt, every time it felt like it was going to go a bit darker, it always saved itself. It always went, but, right down to the final gig, where it's like, it doesn't matter about the money, we brought people together. It's like, well, that's lovely, I guess, but my cold black heart wanted something a little bit angular. I appreciate that the film is feel good and inspiring, and it has its place in the world for that reasons. I would have probably liked it to have been a little bit more no holds barred. Let's look at the bad a little bit more. We get hints of it with his alcoholism, we get hints of it with his wife leaving him after she has a newborn. I would have liked that to have been examined a little bit more critically of Terry Hooley, but I believe because Hooley was sort of known to the writer and was part of the promotion of the film, I feel like they thought maybe they didn't want to offend him too much, so they held back on it. All that said, I had a good time. I had a smile on my face through a lot of it. I just would have liked a bit more of a critical look into him.
Yeah.
Fair. It's me.
It's you.
For starters, there's some terrible bloody wigs in this film. Like that guy from Line of Duties.
Oh my god!
The worst wig. The worst wig.
It's awful. It's the worst wig I've ever seen. Yes, you're right.
But back to the review. It's just one of those how you say, nice true stories, though not as lovely as Pride in my opinion, but in that same kind of vein, making the most out and thriving in a hopeless kind of situation and just spreading that love. It's quite hard not to get wrapped up in the joy of Terry Hooley either. You feel his passion, and that moment when he hears punk for the first time, you can see it all in his face, and that's just a testament to the guy's acting. Like, it's almost like an awakening that this is what he's been looking for, and like the transcendence of music is just such an interesting idea in general. Like almost mimicking the sentiment of the time and the change from like free love and peace to like an anti-establishment one. It's just great. It's very interesting. And so is the character of Terry in general. Though he's an incredibly flawed man, the passion is unmistakable. And my lord, his voice is absolutely soothing as fuck during those narration segments. So bloody soothing. But I wouldn't say you come away feeling like this film has like an incredible impact on you or me in general. It's just a very interesting story. And I mostly come away wanting to know from you boys, was Terry Hooley an idiot or not? Because that's what kind of I come away thinking. And that's my first impressions.
I think he's an idiot, but also kind of a genius. And I feel like it takes both to kind of do what he did. Because if you're sane, you wouldn't start doing what he did. And you kind of need the madman inside of it to do it. Maybe you could have balanced it out a bit more, and it might have done a bit better. But yeah,
I mean, bloody selling a song for what was it? How much money? £500?
Yeah, 500 quid or something, and a signed photo of the Shangri-Las.
Yeah, it's like, come on, help yourself out a little bit.
He did that in real life.
Yeah, that's just nuts, isn't it?
How familiar were you with Terry Hooley before you saw this film, Shaun?
Not really. I found out afterwards. It was one of that. It was like, because Mark Kermode went on about it. Good Vibrations. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll give that a go. It sounds like something that I'd like. And then, I was like, oh, I need to find out more about the man. I see there's like a book. I want to read the book, but I can't. I hate reading. Like actual reading, I can do audiobooks, but reading is a nightmare. And nobody's made an audiobook yet.
Which he should do the audiobook since his voice is so soothing.
Yeah, Richard Dormer. Yeah, he'd be great. But yeah, so I know.
So that's interesting.
But I don't know,
because I thought
that
that you maybe knew him beforehand, which is why you connected to it a little bit more as well. So it really worked its magic on you then, if you hadn't even had knowledge of him beforehand.
Yeah, I'd heard the story of Teenage Kicks like being played twice by John Peel, like once after the other. I remember that story, but I didn't remember the people around it. But yeah, it's.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When John Peel appears at the end of the film, I didn't even check this at the end credits. Was that David Tennant?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
I don't know who it was. But it was like someone doing
it definitely wasn't David Tennant.
It was definitely doing someone doing a really weird impression of him as well.
Where was when they said about John Peel? Was it actually John Peel then?
No, John Peel wasn't in the film.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, because I thought he died before this.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone pretending to be him.
That was I thought it was David Tennant. There you go.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't him.
Well, that was a particularly cool moment of the film when he plays it twice. Obviously, true story, but in the film, playing it twice as well and capturing that moment, very good. But you know what? This is what I mean, where it's like it plays into some typical beats. A film like this is obviously going to go. It's kind of like the Back to the Future moment where he performs on stage the song from the future, and he's like, "You don't get it, your kids are going to love it." It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Here's this nudge, wink at the audience. You know about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as well, I like that they don't play Teenage Kicks until that moment. You don't hear the song. He just has the headphones on and goes, oh, touches the glass, and they're like, what's he fucking looking at us for?
That's funny.
I know what you mean, though. It's just that it's almost. I mean, obviously, it's like true, or it's partly true, but that whole playing it twice is like, well, of course it's going to happen. It's kind of predictable in like just a storytelling sense as well as being true. It's like, well, yeah, there's no real hardship. The hardship is just having a personality of Terry Hooley. It's like that's the hardship of the whole story. It's like coming to grips with this guy and what he's doing to his own life. It's like almost just going with the music too much. He needs to calm down a bit.
Oh yeah, he does.
But I guess it's also like, it is nice in a way to be like, okay, yeah, we could focus on all this shit stuff, but we don't want to, because we're focusing on the feel good. We're focusing on the unifying power of music. Like Shaun was saying, how music captures moments in life and whatnot. So we're just going to mainly focus on that, the positive side of it. And then there's value to that. So that's good. Okay, I can appreciate that. But there's another side that I would have liked to have seen explored more. I really thought they were going to go that route after his baby's born. I thought, all right, we're going to go a different route now. But actually, whether it happened in real life or not, you know, his wife or his partner turning up to that Ulster Hall gig was sort of like and you're excused. It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, I don't like that bit.
It's absolutely true though. You saying like him literally appearing as in a little cameo, him being close to the creators of this film. It's like they clearly did not want to lean heavily into shaming this man. They wanted just just a nice, true story that's all about love rather than the horrible stuff that happened. It's like, but you need a little bit of the darkness as well just to make a level story completely.
Yeah. To make an interesting story. I mean, like Ben said it before of like, oh, we wanted more of it, but like, yeah, otherwise it would just be too much. Oh, he's this good. But he didn't need his yin and yang. It was a bit too much. He was a bit too lopsided in his chaos. But
yeah, I did look like when I have read stuff about his wife and other wives, because I think he's had about 4, but like they don't actually have much of a bad thing to say about him. You know?
Oh yeah, he's not a bad man. He's just a bit
really weird, you know. Considering, you know, because I mean that's she pretty much takes as soon as the baby's born, it's like, right, I'm taking it away.
Yeah,
you know, you just want to go with your boys. Yeah, so it's kind of.
I mean, that was a very annoying part for me. It's like, your wife literally just had a baby, and all you care about is going and leaving, and you're getting all these rowdy people in the hospital as well. It's like, have a fucking second, just a second.
Yeah. But as well, I suppose we have. It was the 70s, was it?
Yes,
and you know, men done bugger all. You know, to do with reading kids, did they? So, you know, it would have been more because, like, even I remember my own dad when my brother was born. He was in the pub and like you know, like I think he missed the birth or something. Yeah, you know, so
wetting the baby's head.
Yeah, whereas like when I remember I've been to both of my kids and I nearly missed one and it was awful. I was like beating myself up, but yeah, you know, but
I guess I'm leaning into our modern living rather than what was going on back then, for sure. But seeing he's such a like free love and all about that kind of stuff, it's like, well, dude, love your family as well.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it kind of comes back to like the beginning of the film in terms of setting up Terry Hooley's character, because he's talking about all the differences that are in or were in Belfast up until the Trouble. So like you were defined by whether you were socialist, Marxist, communist, feminist, etc., etc. Then all of that went. You were either Catholic or you were Protestant, and he was like, it doesn't, like you said, Shaun, when he's asked it in the car, I never thought to ask, because he's just like, I don't care, I'm just surrounding myself with good people, I don't care how they feel. That's kind of both the charm of the Terry Hooley character, which is like, oh, that is cool, you should surround yourself with different and diverse people, regardless of if you agree with any and everything they say, because it makes you well-rounded and you hear different opinions and you feel all sorts of different experiences in life. However, by doing that, you fail to create a personality of your own, not a personality, but a belief system or a system of principles which are your own. The only thing you can really say about Terry Hooley is his principle was great music should be heard by everyone. It should be made and it should be heard by everyone. That's a great principle to have, but then when it comes at the expense of other things, that's the trouble.
Using his house as collateral. It's like, and you're not telling your wife about this.
Not telling your wife,
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. What are you doing?
I know. However, he does have some principles. Well, not that he doesn't have principles, but I mean, he does have some convictions, because when the nasty Nazi wants his music in the shop, he gives him short shrift.
Yeah.
So it's not just a case of any music will do. It's like, well, not hateful music, no.
Yeah.
And he was a peaceful, lovely guy. He's the kind of guy you meet in the bar and you'd be happy to spend all evening with him, probably.
Yeah, it's just once you start delving into his actual whole life, you're like, oh, maybe he's not as nice as I thought he was.
I mean, it certainly romanticizes the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that as you said, that is a little failing on because of how close he is to the project, I guess. But in general, it's still an enjoyable story to watch, and digging into this guy, showing these flaws in him. At least it does show the flaws, and it doesn't give him like a clean slate of nothing.
That's true.
But I do enjoy like little quirks as well that come along with him as well, like the Terry with a Y turns into Terry with an I because he lost an eye. That's all cool. Just him getting the shop in Bomb Alley. It's just like, it's such a cool idea, and it's like, oh, this was an actual thing that happened. Makes it even better.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm really surprised they didn't call it like Teenage Kicks or something. You know, it seems really odd to call. I know the record shop's called Good Vibrations, but as soon as you hear that, you think Beach Boys.
Yeah,
it's really odd Or, something else. I don't know why Good Vibrations. It feels...
Do they ever explain in the film why he calls it Good Vibrations?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. He just goes, Good
Maybe.
Vibrations.
I know. God, his voice is peculiar voice.
Yeah.
It's a peculiar tone of voice, isn't it? Maybe it was because, Bomb Alley, if it's on Bomb Alley, we'll make those vibrations from the bombs good. We'll make it a good thing. We're the good vibrations on this street as opposed to the bad vibrations, which are the bombs.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as someone who would have thought about it that much.
No, that's true.
I like Good Vibrations. We're going to call our record shop Good Vibrations. I should really stop doing the accent. Is that bad?
No, it's spot on as well. Do you know what I thought the funniest moment in the film is after he's set up the shop, guy outside going, "Don't let the sign fool you, naked capitalism is what it is." And he comes out and goes, "Fuck's sake, Dad."
Yeah, his dad, yeah. Funny.
And you can
there
see...
were lots of funny moments.
Yeah, you can see as well, because his dad's like shit at being a politician as well. He keeps failing, but he still carries on,
Well, that bit really disarmed me, because that was like, oh, yeah, that's a really good point. When, because he's kind of like that subject of ridicule, and he's like, how many elections have you lost? And he's like, you may think that I lost them, but actually winning or victory looks different than you imagine, because I've been gaining support, and that's what matters. And that kind of pays off at the end, right? Because it's like the victory of getting the money to save the shop. Well, that wasn't as important at the end to Terry. It was about bringing people together for that moment. That was the victory.
Yeah.
So it could have looked like a loss. So that, things like that are nice. It's well executed. I forgot to say this at the beginning, and this kind of plays into the point that I'm making about hitting the tropes and whatnot. That the director, Lisa Barros Dessar, she studied screenwriting at university, specifically did a whole degree on it, and that comes across to me. It comes across to me as someone who understands the structure, the hierarchy, the bones of a screenplay, and is like, you hit this note at this point and this note at this point, and you twist at this point, and you have a crisis at this point. And that's what this film felt like. It hit all those beats well, but in a very, okay, I'm expecting this to happen now, and this to happen, and this to happen.
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah. I was going to say my favourite moment in this film, and I guess I was going to say, well, this is a good piece, but I guess it's all in the acting, really. And it's when he goes to that punk club, and it's just the look on his face, and it's just an incredible piece of acting that it's like an otherworldly, he's suddenly like transcending and realising there's this other kind of music that is so anti-establishment and exactly what he's been looking for. And just the way that is shot and the way it's all in his face, I think that's an incredible scene right there. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it conveys everything without saying anything. Yeah,
and I mean, like, punk isn't even like my genre, but
no, certainly ain't mine.
Because as soon as I heard, like, when he's whatever song it is, is it when they go, "We hate the cops"?
Yes,
we hate the cops, and then
that's when the tide turns in the bar.
Yeah, and then I need to stop doing that.
SSRUC.
Yes,
SSRUC.
Yeah. But I mean, like, but I still, he was able to convey that, something that I felt myself about a different type of music.
Yeah,
which is pretty amazing. But,
and it's just great to see that this, like, it is a sign of the time that this is the change in the tide of music, of this is what people are looking for now, because that is the kind of era they're living in, where everyone's warring and they just need something against what everyone's doing in the world, what everyone else is doing. It's not about love anymore. It's about putting a middle finger up to all those pieces of shit to fucking your life over.
I know I haven't really said much, but I do need to bounce now.
Adam, before you bounce, why don't you say one big closing comment about how you feel of it?
We need more people in the world like Terry who are willing to promote good music.
Well, why don't you be that person?
But not too many of them, because then you can't have too many of them, because then the rest of the world will fall apart.
There'll be loads of single parents.
There would be loads of single parents, and a lot of people down the pub, and a lot of people in hospital who shouldn't be.
Adam, you like the vinyl records. Would you have gone in Good Vibrations?
I'd have had a look, yeah. Would you have not gone down there?
I would have, and then I would have left because I don't have a vinyl player. Well, I do. I just never use it.
You would have had one in the 70s, though, wouldn't you? Because it would be the only
Yes.
way to listen to music.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I think you know what my score is as well. It's
Yes.
an 8 out of 10. Very much. And thank you for bringing this podcast, Shaun. I enjoy all your
no
picks that you
problem,
bring,
man.
like Sing Street and all of that. They're good ones. If it's about music, I'm normally in.
Adam's in when it's music. That's the way to his heart.
Anyway, much love. And
Thank
I'll be
you.
back later on.
See you later, Adam.
Bye, Adam. We didn't even head everyone up saying that Adam was going to leave at some point because that was in the end
I
of the
know.
episode.
Adam's going to leave at some point, everyone.
There you go. You got it.
Shaun, are you a big vinyl guy, or do you not really care about that sort of thing?
I am, but it's mainly from the indie music scene because I wanted to support them in the most expensive way.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make
yeah,
sense? It was just
That's
because
nice.
like most people are trying to give you like MP3s, and I hate having MP3s because I'll just forget about them. Whereas if I've got a piece of vinyl just sitting there, I'll be like, I haven't used that in a while. I need to use it so that I'm getting some sort of use out of it. If you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Because I'm like, I've paid 25 quid for that, and you know, it should.
That's a very decent way of supporting an artist. I think that's a good reason for buying vinyl.
Definitely.
I have vinyl records, but my vinyl player is so basic that the sound that I get out of it is not proportionate to why many people buy vinyls anyway, which is like to hear the depth and the richness of the music. I don't get it on my setup, and I feel like unless you've got a really good setup, like I suspect Adam has quite a good setup, then it's kind of wasted. It's not like buying a Blu-ray or a 4K movie where it doesn't matter what your setup is, it looks the way it looks. With a vinyl,
The sound can still
your
be shit, though.
sound. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. I do. Yeah, I'm a big fan because that's another thing. Yeah, because just supporting the artist is my main reason for it. But I do buy the odd like one that I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. You know, because there's a Talking Heads one I want. Stop Making Sense, the new re-release of that whole album, but every time I've seen it, it's just so expensive, and I'm like, no, I can't justify it. Not yet.
What are vinyls setting people back nowadays? I don't even know.
It's like, it depends where you buy it from, but it's between 20 and 30 quid.
Okay, right.
For a record. And then, like, if you're buying it on Bandcamp, you've got postage on top of that, which is usually like a $5. So, yeah. So
I've Adam has left this chat now, so you can edit this bit out of the podcast, Paul. But or leave it in because he doesn't listen back to the episodes. It's his birthday. It's his 30th coming up in a couple of weeks, and I've bought him the Shaun, you'll hate this. I've bought him the limited edition, definitely maybe 30th anniversary re-release vinyl, and that one was about 65 quid. But it's limited edition, which is partly why. But it comes with several of them. But that's kind of the magic of it. He wouldn't get himself that normally, so it's nice to get.
That's one. Nice. That's lovely.
I have Moonshaped Pool, Radiohead's last album, vinyl, and what's super cool about it, Paul, I think I may have told you at the time, but what's really cool about it is, I don't know if they were limited edition, I suppose they would have been. When they sent the vinyls out, they were bound in recording tape from the original OK Computer sessions. And so you get, I think you get a quarter of a second's worth of recording tape from the original sessions. And I mean, I've never taken it anywhere to get it played, but it could be anything. It could literally be from the final recording of Karma Police, so you could have a quarter of a second of the legitimate final recording, or you could have like a quarter of a second of some dismissive conversation they were having off mic somewhere. But I thought that was very cool.
That is,
I thought that was very cool.
That is very cool. Yeah, definitely.
And because they really need the money as well. You know, you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're hard done by guys.
It's like, it's like Oasis. I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, they need it. They really need it.
I know.
Them little thieves. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into that till later.
Here's some nice quotes. Here's some nice quotes from the film. A proper record collection should have a track for every moment. That's true. That's what our new podcast is doing.
Yeah,
track for every moment. That's the only quote.
That's the only one. That's the only
No,
one.
no. Here's the other one. Here's the one that I liked. When he goes into the recording studio and Liam Cunningham, I think is his name, the man from Game of Thrones, is just sat there and they're doing the shitty commercials and Terry Hooley says to him, "What about your rock and roll soul? How do you feed that?" After the guy says, "I've got to put food on the table."
Yeah.
What about your rock and roll soul? How do you feed that? That's a fucking good line.
And then he gives him a
pretty good.
joint, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Your rock and roll soul.
Yeah.
It's that voice. I love that voice as well.
Oh, same.
I
Great
don't know
voice.
if that's how Terry Hooley actually sounds, actually. I should put...
Oh, I imagine it must be, no, because it feels too like put on to
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
be. Like it's
it
kind
does.
of a camp list. Like, to be honest with you, right? When I first heard his voice, I thought he was going to be revealed to be gay because it's quite a camp
Yeah,
voice.
it's quite camp, isn't
Yeah.
it?
But no, he was just softly spoken.
Yeah. And there's
Beautiful
like
voice.
little things as well. There's that I keep like because I heard that he used to like putting his glass eye in people's pints, and he does that. There's one point where you see him taking it out, but it's not like a big thing. It's just,
That is the rankest thing. If
I know,
man
it's
put
disgusting.
his glass eye in my pint, I would have to
Slimy.
knock him out.
yeah.
Not the other eye out.
God, but yeah, like stuff like that. I mean, there's things. It's just, I just really like it as well because I like the fact that he's not a perfect man, because it makes
Yes.
me feel better as well about myself. Because like you always feel like you should need to be, because everything makes you think you should be like successful, happy,
Yeah.
you know, perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
in every
That's
way.
true.
And it's nice to see someone that's doing something, just doing the thing because they love
Yeah.
the thing, rather than it's the enthusiasm as well. I really like that's what I've kind of brought to my work as well, because I was just like I was what you call it, a janitor, so for 10 years, and then this job came up, and usually I would just go, that would have been a nice job, but I've got a nice stable job, I'll stay there, I've got my kids.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what, I'll just fucking try it.
Do something for yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just try it, and and it's gone okay. I'm still here, so that's good.
Well, it looks like it's going better than okay for you, man. I know we talked
Yeah.
about it on the Trees Lounge one, but yeah, in many ways you are the Terry Hooley of your corner of the world, because I'm assuming that a lot of the stuff that you're having to do is just off your own back, grafting to get the for these people who don't know, Shaun runs a venue up in the nether regions of off the shore of England and Scotland, basically, and you bring all these acts together, whether they're musicians or comedians or films, at your venue. So you're doing a lot of the hard graft and work for probably very little monetary reward, but it's filling your soul.
Yes, well, that's one of the reasons I had to give up my other podcast, because I just like so much time to organize these people to do interviews with, where I needed that time to get people to come here, because it's a hard sell, because we are only 169 seats, so it's not a big venue, so
Very personal gig.
so people can't make because like when we had like Dom Jolly, I mean, I'm not like the massivest Dom Jolly fan, but when we had him, it was like no matter where you're sitting, you've got the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
So and it's
Sure.
for someone who would usually do something a lot bigger, because we had Rich Hall as well. That was pretty cool.
Rich Hall's the man.
Yeah, because we had him, and he was just like, I was like, what the hell is he doing here? But but he done like the whole obviously it was full house, but it's still only 169 people, and he wasn't even asking like crazy money for tickets, and and we had people like, who else did we have? Tim Vine, lots of Scottish comedians, lots of Scottish bands. I've tried to get a lot of bands that I like up, but it doesn't seem to be working. I don't think it's gonna. I think
Keep
I'm gonna
plugging away, man. Keep plugging away.
I feel like I might have to stop soon with trying to get my stuff, because it's like it costs so much money. But I'm kind
Just
of
keep that Terry Hooley spirit alive.
I'm at that kind of. I've gotten to the stage where I've found a few things that I know work, so I'll make sure to do a lot of them, and then I can do something like I can just add a wee bit of my own every now and again, like say for every 4 bands that are in Gaelic. I can have one band that I really love.
Yeah, man.
You know, that's kind of what because when I first got here, I'd done 2 shows of my own so that I could, because I was like, can I put this band on? And they were like, oh, well, it costs you a wee bit. It'll cost you like 600 quid for the guarantee for them to come up. And then I was like, well, why don't I do some shows? And then any money goes towards that.
See, that's proper
You
commitment.
are Terry Hooley.
You are. They should make a movie about you.
But yeah, but like as well, I try not to be too not family orientated as well. I have, because there has been a few times where I have gone a bit off, like I have gone Terry Hooley, and like I've stayed a bit extra, or I've, you know, where I didn't need to.
At the expense of yourself.
Yeah, I've done stuff in my own time, but I have calmed that down a bit, because my wife did say, you know, this is taking over your life. You need to find a better balance. And yeah, but
did you agree? Did you agree, or did you revolt?
I did agree, actually.
You're better than Terry Hooley. So
like, as soon as I think it's probably helps that I've seen what happens. Because it's so easy to get carried away, like, because
of course, yeah,
because I really do care about, like, it's like the community aspect, like, because it's like when I'm like made music of my own, like I didn't really care about any money or anything. I've gotten some money from it, but it's just like, that's not important at all. The most important thing was some guy wrote a review saying it was his favorite album of the year, and I was like, yes. And I keep that in my
super sweet.
I keep that for any time, so I can just look at it and go, right, okay, that's why you did it.
That's the artist's life. That's the creative's life. Anyone who really wants to do something creative or arty, or even just hosting a podcast, it's not about money. You're doing it for the love of the thing. You want to do it because you can't not do it, and that's the reason for doing it. There's many people, I've spoken about this before on some podcasts, I'm sure, but there's people who are like, when I tell them about the podcast and they're like, do you get any money for that? It's like, mate, you do not understand why I'm doing this. It's not about money. No, we don't get fucking money for it. No, it's not why we do it. And it's the same people who are like, oh yeah, you're making a film. Why? It's like, why not? Why aren't you? Why are you not doing it? What have you got going on in your life that you can't be bothered to do some of these things just because you want to do it? That's the thing. If you feel passionate about something, you should just do it for yourself, and people will connect to the authenticity of you doing that thing because it means something to you, and so it will mean something to other people probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so good.
But it's not to go off too much of a tangent, but to bring it back to this film, it's why that scene you're talking about, Paul, where he's in that place and he hears that punk music and the expression on his face, he just gives himself over to it. It is why music is this really great uniter, because I think this much is very true about the difference between something like music and any other creative outlet. I think it's the communal experience of music, and not just at a gig. Even if you're just sat around with 5 or 6 of you in a pub and there's a song on and you all know it, that communal experience of music the gift of that cannot be replicated in any other art form. Going to a packed out cinema with people and watching a film doesn't replicate it. You're in silence. Yes, you can say, oh, it was packed out, but it doesn't really add anything. If anything, it takes it away. I want to be alone in a cinema and watch something. But with music, going to a gig, like, who would ever want to go to a gig and be like, I'm the only audience member, please?
Yeah.
You need other people around you. You need that energy and that vibrancy of other people around you to lift it and connect with it. And I would honestly say, hand on heart, music, going to gigs is the only time in my life where I can say being amongst other people is better than being alone. Because any other time I would, is there going to be other people there? Oh, well, I'd rather not go. But a gig, if you told me I'm going to that gig and like, oh yeah, nobody else turned up, so the musician's just going to play for you tonight, I'd be like, fuck, hell no thanks. I'll back up out of that.
I guess that sentiment exactly kind of answers the question about Terry Hooley then, doesn't it? Because it's like, this is exactly his thoughts. He might have gone a little bit far with it, but this is his sentiment exactly, that he just does it for the love of music, at the expense of his own self and his own family. That's the bit he needs to work on a little bit, but the love is there, absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I think is perfect for me. That's why it's like the perfect film. It's got that, and it also makes me go, right, well, remember there's other people involved in this. Because I mean, because as well with, I couldn't do my job if my family weren't supportive of it, and because I basically said, right, I'm leaving my job that we have security, we can afford to live, we're comfortable. We've got 2 young kids, but I would like to do something that actually I have some passion about, because it's hard to be passionate about high school, being a janitor at high school for 10 years. It gets very repetitive.
Yes, I can imagine.
So yeah, the fact that they would let me do that, have to remember.
That's love, mate, as well.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
but this film reminds me as well that it's not all about you.
No,
as much as you want to get involved in certain things, you have to think of other people. Because I like because the thing is, I really do not go drinking because of no family. You have to go home. You have to make sure you go home every night, and even if people offer, I'm like, yeah, I'll have one, but I need to go. I always have to be home, and I always have to be, I have to think about other people.
Yeah, just the balance.
Just got to strike the right balance. A little for them, a little for you. You got to do stuff that's good for your soul, but you've got to look after the home as well.
Yeah,
you got to make sure that everything's watered. You got to water your own garden. You got to water the family's garden.
Yeah,
absolutely. And this film's the reality check for us all.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Any closing comments on the film?
Oh, I've got one more thing, actually, before we wrap this up. Who was the man in the cowboy hat?
Hank Williams.
Yeah, Hank Williams.
Who's Hank Williams?
He's
what was his significance, Shaun? Because I know him as a musician, but what's his significance in the story?
I think it's just that was the first song that really got to Teddy Hooley. I saw the light. I saw the light.
Ah, okay. Right.
The light. Yeah. I think that's all it is. I think it's just kind of that's the reason he loves music so much. That was the first thing that got him.
That was the birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your man Loki played him in a film.
Yeah, it was called I Saw the Light.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, there you go. Tom Hiddleston, played him.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
About 10 years ago, I think, he played him.
Good shit.
I got one other question.
Go on.
When he goes to London and he's off his face on cocaine, which I very much enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
What do you reckon are the records that he's ripping off the wall, saying this is shit and that shit and that shit?
They're all just Oasis records. No. Even though they weren't made.
I
don't know.
The formative bands that influenced Oasis.
Yeah, it probably would have been, I would imagine, pop music.
Yeah.
Really
poppy stuff,
or maybe glam rock type thing.
Yeah,
because that would have been popular around the time. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, and I want to know if he actually did that.
I know that would be lovely if he did.
If he just got off his tits and done that.
Yeah,
and still managed to get it into the BBC. Well, it seemed like I think I did read up that. It wasn't like he landed up at the BBC and started crying and then it went, oh, hello, Terry. It was like he knew somebody he'd spoke to somebody before from the BBC, and then they'd got in touch and said, we'll take it. Yeah. It wasn't like, I know that wasn't true. But that was very
seemed a bit coincidental. Yeah. What do either of you guys watch Chaos on Netflix?
No, is that the one with Jeff Goldblum and
it is,
stuff? Yeah, because they've cancelled it, so I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, I know, but I was already halfway through by the time they cancelled it. But it's very good. The guy who plays the lead singer of the band, whose name escapes me now. Who sang it? Who was the band? Teenage Kicks?
Undertones.
The lead singer of the band plays quite a significant character in Chaos, and I was just like, oh right, it's that guy. Never seen him before, and now hearing that. Yeah. No, the guy, not Fergal Sharkey, the other guy. So maybe not the lead singer. You know, the guy who had peroxide blonde hair, quite a gaunt face. Was he not the singer, or was he Rudy? Was he
you're
Rudy?
thinking about Rudy. Yeah.
Ah, okay, there we go. Yeah, him, the guy who plays Rudy. Fergal Sharkey, I didn't even realise was a fucking singer, because Fergal Sharkey, my only exposure to him has been his guest appearances on the Rest Is Politics podcast every now and then. I thought he was
He's trying to sort out the water, doesn't he?
Commentator. He is.
Yeah, he's trying to sort out all the water. But he seems like a bit of a prick in the film. Good Vibrations.
He certainly does, yeah. Maybe that's the way he's played. I mean, everyone is when they're starting out, when they're young and like that to an extent, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the attitude of the genre a bit as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Got to be a little bit of a prick.
I think does Terry Hooley not say something like, you know, are you wearing your mum's clothes or something? You know,
Yeah.
yeah. But he's just like, it's the best. I know you haven't heard. It's the best thing that's ever been fucking made. You're like, yeah. You sure? But then
The
I don't know.
enthusiasm is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's evident.
I love it. Anyway,
Wonderful stuff. Well, should we wrap this up? Give our closing statements and our score?
Yes.
Let's do it in the same
do it.
order.
okay.
Go on,
For
Shaun.
me first. Well, it's gonna be 10 out of 10. If it's just because it's so personal, that's the thing. Like, I
Good.
understand what you're saying about, you know, the beats and everything. It is just like, that's why it's a comfort film as well, because I know I'm not going to be challenged in any way. I can just sit and enjoy it. But it is one of those that really helps when I feel like shit. Like,
Aw.
you know,
And that's
like
a
I can.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, I can just watch it and go, you know what? Because I did that not that long ago, because there was a gig that didn't work out very well. And then I went and I was like, it's not just, you know, that there was like 30 people. So those 30 people, you know, they enjoyed it. They loved it. So that's good. That's a good thing.
It is.
You know, it's not about, but like, because I do keep forgetting. I have been told a few times by the owners that, you know, it is a business.
Yeah.
So I need to focus on that sometimes. But yeah, I just like the enthusiasm. I love the character. I mean, even if he's not great, nobody is. He's got, you know, he's got his flaws, but he does not try and fix them. But
It does not.
no, which is a bit of a pain. But I like the idea of like that he keeps losing, but he keeps carrying on. That's I love that fact, because sometimes it's really hard to carry on when you keep losing, or you feel like you're losing, or someone's telling you you're losing.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So, but yeah, I love it. It's 10 out of 10 for me. It always will be. It's, I don't know. Yeah,
That's
Beautiful
lovely.
stuff.
I can't argue with any of your points there, because that's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
All of these things are personal, and something like this, which is a complete unknown film as well, I'm certainly not going to go, oh well, actually no, this is much better and blah blah blah. The fact that it gives you that experience, fantastic for you, man. You deserve that 8. It deserves that 8 for that reason. A 10, sorry. It's not going to get that high from me, and I feel very, very bad giving it this score, but it's simply because of the reasons that I've said, and I don't knock it, and I feel it was a real feel-good film, and it's worthy of its place on this podcast, and I'm glad we've spoken about it on a personal level, because of the reasons I said before about wanting perhaps just a little bit more of a focus on the darker side, the edgier side of what was going on there, and to maybe stray from the path a little bit more. I can only give it a 6, and this is the first time I've rated one of your films so low, Shaun, but it's no reflection on yourself, because when you've endorsed things like Once before and Sing Street, which are high hitters for me, there was always going to be one that was going to come low.
Yeah.
But I've loved hearing your personal connection to it, and it deserves that fucking 10.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. So while I was watching it, I was thinking, I was having a great time. I was having a great time with it, and it just got to the end, and I had that feeling of, I don't really feel much now. I didn't really get much out of it. I was just the torment of this guy of, even though it was a lovely story, I just left with the torment of this guy making stupid decisions in his life. And so it didn't have a massive, great payoff that I wanted it to have. Yeah. And so it drops a little bit. And I'm giving it the 7. I still had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And with Adam's 8, that brings us overall. I mean, you brought a good film tomorrow, Shaun, because you got 4 unique scores across the board. That's much more interesting than us all going, yeah, that was shit, or yeah, that was great. So that gives us an average of 7.75, which we round up to a 7.8 on this podcast. This is what it's going to go to bat with. First film up is Beautiful Thing, which we did in 2020, I think. Beautiful Thing, you gave a 7, Paul. I gave it a 7, so Beautiful Thing is better for me. Where do you rank it?
Oh, I was going to say this is better.
Okay, it goes above, because it goes above Beautiful Thing, because Adam also gives it an 8. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion's better.
Invasion's better? Let's see what Adam gives it. Oh yeah, and I gave Invasion a 7. So that's where it sits. It sits above Beautiful Thing, but below Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is a very high scorer, man. That's a 7.8 overall on the scoreboard. That is a high scorer. It's in the top percentile of our episodes.
Well, I'm happy with that.
There you go.
I mean,
Good
I
stuff.
totally get it. I totally get not, loving this film as much as I do. I totally get that.
Let me tell you, buddy, there are a million films that I could bring to this podcast that the other two would shit on. And same with Paul, and same with Adam.
Of course.
It's the nature of the beast, and we certainly ain't shitting on this film.
Yeah.
You should be proud that you brought something that you have a true love for. Where we're the cowards who never do that. we never like to bring those films just in case we don't want to be torn down.
One time, out of all of our top 10 films, Paul was forced to bring one of his top 10 films because Jamie picked Burn After Reading for us to cover on the podcast. Do you remember? Way back.
Yes, I know. That was daunting stuff.
That would be daunting, obviously. I've never had to be in that position. The closest I've come actually is Irishman. We did an episode of Irishman, but that was a new top 10
It was off
for
the
me,
cuff,
so I
and
felt
it was
comfortable.
like, yeah.
I didn't have the weight of loving it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Also, who the fuck are we? Who are we? We got no authority here. We're just chatting shit about film every week. We got no authority. Our opinions mean jack shit.
Well, do you know who does have authority though? Shaun does, because he gets to add a rating to any film. He has the authority to change the bloody rating of any film on our charts. So
Magic.
now we're giving you the stage, Shaun. What did you want to give a rating to?
One Night in Miami. Give it a 10.
Oh shit!
Night.
Everyone loves to give One Night in Miami love.
I'm
here for that shit.
I absolutely loved it when I saw it. And I watched it again afterwards and I still loved it. So,
mate.
Yeah.
It's one
that's
hell
worthy.
of a film.
Worthy.
Yeah.
Absolutely bloody worthy. So adding that 10 in makes it a 9.2, which is an original score. We've never had that before. Yes. And that, oh my God. You'll never guess what, Shaun. You've made it the number 10 spot of our top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm delighted.
Shook the game up.
Yes. I'm very happy with that.
You kicked Casino down. Casino was at the 10 spot, and you were like, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
Here's
Casino.
One Night in Miami.
Poor old Casino. Do you know what is just ahead of it? Mulholland Drive. Hard to beat the King. Hard to beat the King.
Yes.
There you go. A number 9 spot, Mulholland.
That is our most unique film entry in the top 10 because the others are all really, really, really big films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And One Night in Miami is probably not one that you would think would enter anyone's top 10 of all time, of this pod at least. So that's I'm delighted with that.
That's great stuff.
Yes.
Well done, Shaun. Great pick.
So Shaun, you've got 2 films that you've put scores to in our top 10, Whiplash and that.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Glory hunting, this guy. Bloody glory hunting.
I know, it is.
Well, I was thinking about Kiss, Kiss in the Family
No point.
Park, but I
No
just,
Good lord.
What, 10 out of 10?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What an absolute monstrosity that was.
I've not actually watched it.
Oh, mate, do
Because I
not.
heard I think I was just like, I don't know if I want to put myself through this.
Oh, no, you
It's
don't.
atrocious.
I don't even like Kiss as
So
a
really
band,
bad.
let alone movie stars.
Gene Simmons is highly annoying. All the tongue action in the film,
Oh,
just far too much.
cringe.
Far too much. Yeah,
Horrible.
it's like you look like you're about 70, mate. Stop doing that.
No, and he seems like such a bellend.
He does.
Mm.
I think he's a MAGA guy as well.
Oh, fuck off.
I think. Yeah.
It's not surprising.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Shaun, for coming on. That was a wonderful film.
Letting me,
pick.
and I'm sorry it took so long to do it.
You're going to keep on doing it from now on, so don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll be back again. Do you want to finally just plug anything again? You know, you might be able to plug a podcast again.
Oh, there's a really good podcast, 3 Men in a Mixtape. Ben knows about it, I think. But it's
Yeah, I subscribed to it this morning.
yeah, it's quite good. Yeah,
I'll give it a listen. I'll give it a proper listen later.
it's really good. The first main episode will be out, very soon. I think not long after this goes out. So
I think it comes out the day before Halloween.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know why that would be significant.
I don't know why it would be
to
significant.
a
Yeah.
podcast that was making a playlist around certain times, or
Absolutely spoilers.
but just wondering, just saying. 3 Men in a Mixtape, get on it, because we want loads of fans and loads of people to listen to it, because it's weird when you just throw stuff out into the void and you don't know if anybody's listening. So
Yes.
Exactly. Get on
Nice.
it, people.
yeah.
Get on it. Well, Shaun, bloody love you. And thank you so much for coming on. It's been
Yeah,
an
man.
absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you.
No, thank you very much. It means the world. It feels weird being part of this. I will not listen to this back, but
Please
I
do,
very
because
much
you've
loved
sounded
it.
fantastic.
You did. Glorious voice.
Thanks for bringing us the Terry Hooley story.
Ah,
Good discussions. Good vibrations and good discussions.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, welcome back, Adam. You're
Hello.
back. How was work?
It was good fun, yeah. Through the magic of podcasting, I'm back, and I think you might have lost somebody else, unless they're gonna.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shaun has left us.
Shaun's gone. We just had a wonderful episode, didn't we? Talking about good vibrations.
I'm talking about the good vibrations.
Yeah, was it a good episode? Do you think it went well?
I think it went brilliantly. It's always good when Shaun's involved.
Oh, yes.
I can't believe Shaun hated it so much. I thought this is like one of his favourite films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe Ben gave it an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, my scores
the
go up
rating
to 11.
system.
Yeah, did. It was good. I enjoyed that recording very much so.
Everyone, we record this beforehand.
Yes.
If you have not
In
guessed.
case you couldn't tell. And what's the reason why? Why did we have to pre-record this bit? Because of you, Adam.
Yes.
And because what?
Because I'm going to work. And it's
Yeah,
my
but-
film next.
That's it.
It's your
are
chance
you-
to tell us what beautiful film you're going to do for 2012.
Are you ready for this?
Ready as will ever be. Make sure you tease us.
So I very much struggled to pick a film for 2012. I've seen a lot of films in 2012, but I just like you're looking through the list. You're like, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? So I then googled a list of films from 2012, and I was reading up, and I was like, oh, this film sounds quite interesting. I don't know too much about it. I just it's a crime thriller set in Brazil. I was like, okay, that's definitely the film I'm doing. And then I looked at the director and what he has done before, and he has done a very famous film, not in the world, but in the world of film busters. And it's
good.
from the same director as Bacurau.
Oh, shit!
Wow. Okay,
was
this
like-
is a big one.
Okay,
Oh.
this is definitely happening now. The film is called Neighbouring Sounds,
I'm just excited. I don't even
And
care
it's-
what it's about.
and it says an independent private security firm arrives at Brazil's middle-class neighbourhood in Recife, Brazil. And it's classed as a crime thriller.
I'm well excited.
Wow.
I'm
We're
excited
back to
for
the
that.
Bacurau world.
Hell
So-
yeah.
I was like, we have to do this film.
What's it called again?
Lots of Bacurau references.
Neighbouring Sounds.
It's not a bit clunky. We're going in neighbouring sounds for this film.
Yes.
Yes. But it's spelt the American way, I believe, because it hasn't got the U. It's like boring.
Oh, right,
Good
yeah.
Vibrations and Neighbouring Sounds could be the two record stores side by side with one another. They
That's
sound
true.
kind of similar. They both sound like they sell
I believe it's
vinyls.
on, if you've got the Curse on Amazon, it's on there, but if not, it's like £3.50 to rent somewhere.
Wow. Okay.
That's great. Great pick.
Thanks for going foreign language, Adam, as well.
I know that.
Yes, that was worthy. Well done. Well, that's very exciting. So I guess that's the end of the episode, and it's time to talk about our wonderful patrons. We got a Patreon, www.patreon.com/filmbusters, and you can become family members, just like the life of our wonderful family member, Shaun Pano Nicholson, who was on this episode today.
Yes, you can. He's sitting in the background very quietly, twiddling his thumbs. Cause,
Yes, he's under the table.
yes.
Yep.
You can also join Luke Bennett.
You can join Francis Ciberini.
You can join Steve and Mark from Movie Drone. Where the fuck are you guys? We're very impatient now.
I know. Quite ridiculous.
You can join Brent from Home Video Hustle.
You can join Mr. Luke Human.
You can join Mr. Nerd Revert.
Yes, you can. You also got Julio from The Contrarians, who will be joining us soon.
You have the teacher of all teachers, Jamie Russell. Movie Jewel's own Jamie Russell.
Yes, and finally, for your references own, Katie and Oti. The beautiful people. Look at all those beautiful people.
Oh, lovely.
Wonderful
One of
stuff.
them's here.
Well,
They're the best. We love you all.
we love you all, and I can't bloody wait for you all to listen to the next episode on Adam.
Neighbouring Sounds.
Sexy.
Filmbusters.